that might be an interesting question. So this one isn't quite phrased like a question, but there was the discussion about fry scream, fry, vocal fry, register. What does it mean when they say vocal fry is a register in
Mhm.
scientific literature?
So the way I've always been explained it by Ingo Tise, is that vocal fry is a register that comes in under 70 hertz. And the reason why it's popping is because the frequency is so low, you can't hear an audible pitch anymore. That's the way I've always been explained it. So I would say vocal fry as a register is essentially our lowest vocal register. Fry as an effect seems to be confused with like creak and and fry scream, I suppose. And they're different because they're in a higher register. They're not in that lowest register. That's how I think of it. But I know there was some disagreement about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure there was really disagreement. It's just you have we have to all get on board on the words we're using and what they mean
Mm.
um, to everybody. I think as we went on, it just seemed like yeah, people are agreeing more and more about fry. So the fry register is really the low end of the voice,
Mm.
and that's how you understand it as well.
Mm.
And then you mentioned creaking is that taking that irregular vibratory pattern with go chasing waterfalls, you know, and the Britney Spears and Kardashian and the it's very in. Is it in England? Because here a lot of people are yeah, it's really nice to see you. They talk with that creaking on all the time.
Yeah, it's not so much here unless they watch a lot of like the Kardashians. I notice it the most when I'm watching TV when you get like those stereotypical women from like LA and they're like, yeah. That's what I always think of when I
Yeah.
hear like people speaking with Fry, but I don't really hear people in real life. I don't see people do it in England.
Okay. I don't. I'm not really a big fan, but people do it here all the time. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
so. When I first moved back to the States, I said 3 years ago, I was kind of in shock. I'm just going, everybody's creaking and using fry, and so so for our discussion, let's say the fry for now. Fry register is the low part of the voice. And when you take this sound up in pitch, you can learn to sustain it on all these different pitches, but keep it a low volume. And then the fry scream, you mentioned that you like to do your fry scream on the inhalation, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And that's easier for me to do as well. I think it has to do because I've done a lot of high volume singing, so my voice is used to really tight vocal fold closure for high notes, high volume singing, and you need quite a bit of relaxation
Mm.
for the fry scream. You need to have, you know, it can't be squeezed. It'll just if you squeeze too much, it doesn't happen. It's like this combination of the right amount of narrowing, the right amount of relaxation. Because if I go, let's go backwards. It's different than that's going
Yeah.
forward. So I'm getting it closer together. And but when we use in the fry screen, I just like to point out that it's low volume. And use. Do you have an external mic?
No, not attached. I've just got my laptop mic on.
So if you let's see what it just sounds like to give a demonstration. Do your like inhale fry scream.
Okay. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah.
I think it sounds great. How is it to sing with that though? Yeah, wow. Is it harder to follow a
Uh,
melody line, or have you gotten to the point where you can just follow the melody line like that?
I don't really use it these days. When I was in college, I used to use it all the time because I was like 16 and thought I was really cool. I used to use it all the time then, and I never had any qualms with it. Like I never felt tired from it. But it's very much an effect that I put on like individual like phrases. It's not something that I would use consistently over a song. Um, Purely because I just don't think it's I just don't I think you'd probably because you'd have to take it would interfere with your breathing, I think, too much. I
Yeah.
think it would cause issues if you were to sing like a whole song like it. But then that being said, I know that there are bands where the front person does inhale fry screams. I'm trying to remember the name of them now off the top of my head, um but yeah, there are things that do it, but
Yeah, I was
I'm not
just curious. I was just curious about that because I mean I can do the inhale fry scream maybe on a note, but I'm not. It works better to for me to have the forward flow if I want to actually follow any kind of a melody line. And I think that's has to do with just you're gonna run out of air and the tightness sucking it. You can definitely change the pitches, but I don't know. I was just curious what your experience was with it. So you use mostly as just a one note scream.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it for long. So like I would use it for like the odd word or phrase that I really wanted it to be like really like gnarly. But
Yeah.
otherwise I would just use superglottic distortion. That's my favorable one.